Ever step outside on a freezing day, take a breath, and get that sharp, shocking pain in your teeth? Yeah, me too. Today, we're going to figure out exactly why that happens. Let's get into it.
You know the feeling exactly, right? You're just walking down the street, you inhale, and it's like an ice pick hitting a nerve. It's a super common thing, but what is actually going on in there to cause that much pain?
Yep, that's the word. Zing. It's so sudden it can literally stop you in your tracks. But what's really interesting is that this feeling has a name, and believe it or not, it doesn't automatically mean you have a cavity.
So yeah, we're calling this first part that sudden winter zing because it's such a specific shared feeling. It's that all too familiar jolt on a chilly day.
Okay, so the official fancy term for this is dentin hypersensitivity. The two most important words there are exposed dentin. See, dentin is the layer right underneath your hard, protective enamel, and when it's left out in the open, it can get, well, a little dramatic in response to things like cold air.
So, let's get into the science of it. Why does this happen? What is it about cold air that triggers such an intense reaction inside your tooth? Turns out there are a couple of things at play.
Okay, so one reason is just simple physics. It's called thermal contraction. Your tooth, right, has different layers. The super hard outer enamel contracts from the cold just a little bit faster than the softer dentin layer inside. This mismatch can create a tiny bit of stress, and your nerves might pick that up as pain. But that's not the main reason.
Nope. The main culprit, the big scientific explanation for that zinging, is something called the Hydrodynamic Theory. Now, I know it sounds really complicated, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. Stick with me.
Here's how it works in 4 quick steps. 1. That cold air hits the exposed dentin we just talked about. 2. That dentin is filled with thousands of teeny tiny microscopic tubes that are filled with fluid. The cold makes that fluid inside move really suddenly. 3. That sudden rush of fluid pulls on the nerve endings deep inside the tooth. And 4, boom, your brain gets a very, very clear signal, pain.
This is a perfect way to think about it. When those little tubes in your dentin are exposed, maybe because your enamel is worn or your gums have receded, it's just like leaving your front door wide open in a blizzard. There's just no barrier. The cold gets right in and hits those sensitive nerves.
So who's most likely to feel this? Well, it's often people with worn-down enamel, maybe from grinding your teeth at night or from lots of acidic foods and drinks. Another huge cause is gum recession, which exposes the root of the tooth. And this is why it really matters. Enamel is your tooth's only armor. And once it's gone, it doesn't grow back. It's gone for good, leaving your teeth vulnerable to much bigger problems than just sensitivity.
Okay, enough about the problem. Let's talk solutions. Let's get to your winter survival guide, full of practical, easy tips you can use to stop that zing before it even starts. First up, this scarf trick. It's so simple, but it really, really works. Just wrap a scarf over your mouth. What happens is you create this little pocket that traps your own warm breath. So when you inhale, you're breathing in that pre-warmed, humid air instead of that shocking, dry, freezing air. And that leads right to our next tip, your breathing. If you breathe through your mouth in the winter, you're basically aiming a fire hose of cold air directly onto your teeth. Your nose, on the other hand, is like a natural little heater. It warms and humidifies the air before it gets anywhere near your teeth. So, the simple rule, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Next, let's look at your toothpaste. Switching to one for sensitive teeth can be a game changer. Look for one with an ingredient called potassium nitrate. It works by basically blocking up those microscopic tubes we talked about. You can think of it like putting spackle over a tiny hole in a wall. And here's a pro tip. After you brush, just spit out the extra paste, don't rinse with water. Leaving that little bit of a film on your teeth lets the good stuff keep working longer. And finally, try to avoid thermal shock. You know the feeling. You come in from the freezing cold and you immediately want to down a scalding hot chocolate. Well, that rapid swing from extreme cold to extreme hot makes your enamel expand and contract really fast. And over time, that can cause tiny, microscopic cracks. So just let that hot drink cool down for a minute or two. Your teeth will thank you.
Okay, this last section is incredibly important. We really need to know how to tell the difference between that normal winter sensitivity and a pain that's actually a serious warning sign. So here's the breakdown. Normal sensitivity is a sharp, quick pain that's gone almost as fast as it came. A warning sign, though, is a deep, throbbing, lingering ache that sticks around for minutes or even hours. Another huge red flag is any pain that's bad enough to wake you up in the middle of the night.
Let me be absolutely clear about this. If you have that lingering, throbbing kind of pain, it is not just sensitivity from the weather. That is your body's alarm bell. It often points to a much deeper issue, like an infection, a crack in the tooth, or a nerve problem that needs a dentist's attention right away.
So the crucial point of this whole thing is to just listen to your body. Pay attention to the type of pain you're feeling. Is it that quick winter zing, or is it a persistent ache that's trying to tell you something much more important?
And that brings us to our final thought for today. Your teeth are constantly communicating with you. That sensitivity might just be about the weather, or it could be a hint that your enamel is wearing thin or your gums need a little more care. So the question to leave you with is this: your teeth are talking. What are they telling you?